forces for good in the world. And I believe strongly and sincerely that with the deep-rooted wisdom and dignity, the innate respect for human lives, the intense humanity that is our heritage, the African race, united under one federal government, will emerge not just as another world bloc to flaunt its wealth and strength, but as a great power whose greatness is indestructible because it is built not on fear, envy, or suspicion, nor won at the expense of others, but founded on hope, trust, friendship, and directed to the good of all mankind. So what are these trends in my capacity as a development strategist? What are the favors that are now being exposed to us as Africans as the next big investment frontier over the next 50 years? After China and India, Africa is the next biggest investment frontier for American and European businesses trying to escape the pitfalls of their own government budget cuts, shrinking incomes, their aging populations, and saturated markets. By 2032, Africa's population is likely to overtake that of China and India. And by 2050, Africa must have, and will have a more skilled workforce than China and India, and thus become more decisive than even China and India business people. Africa's GDP has shown impressive growth in the past decade, and it will continue. How are you going to engage the diaspora? Today, the people of Africa and the continent in the diaspora are being called upon to raise the bar higher and higher in our quest and struggle for a better Africa. In her letter to the continent, Advocate Marina Blake states, and I quote, "Like us in the West, you on the continent have been subject to brutal colonialism, imperialism, and now Chinese investments. We are aware of the lopsided contracts you have been forced to sign, the many incidents of multinational corporations dictating the terms of a trade agreement or outmaneuvering African governments in negotiations. Similarly, the African diaspora, they have convinced you that their white culture is more advanced than yours and that they are better at governing than you are. In this way, they hope to erode your self-confidence, our abilities, and your culture. You are aware of the myriad ways in which they have undermined your political and economic system.